Okay, so for the second problem, we have that we need to learn how to practice effective communication.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be a good objective way to measure that goal?
Maybe list out the ways I'm good at communicating
Okay.
and work on those, and then try to maybe list out ways I'm not, and then work on those better.
Okay, so we should say maybe 5 of each.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we'll be sharing those ways in the next couple weeks, okay?
Okay.
All right. So the last thing we need to do would be to list an intervention. So I will be responsible for measuring your success based on what we talk about here in the next few weeks.
Okay.
And then if we see improvements, then we know that you've been reaching your goals and using these goals and objectives in an appropriate manner. Okay. And if we don't see an increase or any higher success rates, then that's okay. We'll just maybe redevelop some of these strategies so that they better fit your life.
Okay.
So, how does this sound to you?
Good.
Okay. And how did this process feel? Did you feel comfortable?
Yeah, I felt like this will help.
Okay. So, tell me, based on this treatment plan, tell me what your expectations are.
I feel that by talking about it and coming up with a plan, it will help me in the process of communicating better and finding ways to not have so much stress and maybe cope with them better if I do.
Mm-hmm. And then, how do you feel about the goals and objectives we set for impulse control?
Good. I think those will work fairly well.
Okay. So I know last time we touched briefly on some coping techniques. We talked about, self-soothers that you could use. Did you practice any of those?
Nothing really came up this week. Not
Okay.
much that was stressful.
So you didn't have any opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And well, maybe if they come up this week,
Mm-hmm.
you have the opportunity to use them.
Okay.
Kind of try some different ones and see what works for you.
Okay.
And then communicating better. So this last week, I know we talked about communicating better with your wife.
Mm-hmm.
How did that go this last week?
Well, we sat down quite a few nights and just talked, and we had no problems or worked them out, so I felt like we communicated well this week.
Okay. So would you say you've seen an improvement?
Yes.
Okay. So how is your communication overall with your kids? Tell me about that.
It's well. I talk to them on a regular basis, a couple times a week usually. Just talk about how they're doing and what's going on in their lives. So I say I communicate with them fairly well.
Do you have a hard time communicating your feelings to them?
I'd say yeah, man. I really never have that much, so probably.
Okay. Tell me some more about how you communicate with your kids. Do you use phone? Do you email? In person?
Mostly either on the phone or in person. I'd rather see them and talk to them in person, but I would say the majority of it's on the phone. So.
Okay. So on a daily basis, who are some of the people you communicate with every single day?
My wife, a handful of coworkers that I tell, like that are under me at work. I'd say that's about it, really.
Okay. So, what are some of the 5 ways that you think you communicate well that we said we were going to use an objective measure? What do you think you do well?
I think I always don't leave anyone out when I talk to people.
Okay, so you make sure everyone's
Mm-hmm.
being heard and
Mhm.
understands. Okay. And what are some other ways?
Can always, like, if someone has a question about it, I can always, like, maybe put it in different terms so they will understand it.
Okay. So rephrasing,
Mm-hmm.
and making sure everyone understands what you're saying. Okay. So what are 3 more ways you're good at communicating? Do you use nonverbal skills when you communicate? Do you make eye contact?
Yeah, I'm usually good at making eye contact with people.
Okay, so you're good at that. Eye contact. And then your verbal skills, um, do you speak with high volume?
Mm-hmm.
Do you make sure
Usually
everyone can hear you?
everyone can always hear me.
Do you talk slow?
No,
Fast?
everyone can usually hear me.
Okay. All right. So those are 4. I need you to identify one more way in which you think you communicate well.
Sometimes I use, like, PowerPoints or, like, other forms of that. Uh, if something's, like, long or needs more explaining, I can show, like, pictures and stuff.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, a lot of people are visual learners. A lot of people need to see it. A lot of people need to do it. Sometimes people can just hear it. So using all of those, like PowerPoints, kind of helps people that need to see it from different angles. Okay. All right. So then we're going to identify 5 ways in which you feel like you need to communicate better.
Be more clear.
Okay.
Maybe involve more people. That way, other people want to come up and ask questions. So everyone knows what's going on.
Okay. Okay. So those are good. Would you say you need to work on your tone of voice? Do you think sometimes you can be a little too straightforward? Do you
I
think you
think
need
so.
to be less or quieter? Or?
Probably too straightforward sometimes.
Okay, so working on tone maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what are 2 other ways that you want to work on your communication? Maybe sharing more feelings.
Yeah, or doing it, like, more often instead of waiting until someone needs me to communicate with them.
Okay. And last one. What's one last thing in which you feel like you need to communicate better? Think about your nonverbal and verbal skills. Are there anything you think needs
Maybe more verbal.
more verbal? Okay. Yep, those are all good. So what we have, you make sure everyone's heard. You're good at rephrasing if someone doesn't understand. You use your nonverbal and verbal skills, and then you make different ways that people can understand what you're saying. So with PowerPoints. So those are 5 things that you're good at, and then 5 things you need to work on are being clear and concise, involving more people, working on your tone, sharing your feelings more often, and having more verbal skills. Would you say those are accurate? Okay. All right. So that kind of clears up some of our objectives from the communication point.
Mm-hmm.
So next week we'll work on developing or working more on those 5 coping skills that you need to learn to work on your impulse control.
Okay.
Okay. So how did you feel about today's session?
I feel listing all those out will help make me think about it more when I'm communicating.
would it help if I sent a copy of this home with you so you have something to look
Yeah.
through throughout the week so you
Mhm.
kind of can reflect on what we talked about and you have an understanding of where we're going from here forward?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Any other feelings about today or
No.
anything else you need to discuss before next week?
Nope.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming today.
Thank you.